Alright, secondhand toy dealer here, and taking a look at the Tite Build and Play Model Kit. Millennium Falcon from Star Wars The Force Awakens. This one here comes with the newer radar dish, and honestly I think that I like the way that this one looks, but the nostalgia in me prefers the old style to this style, just because this isn't what I grew up with. So my preference would be to have one with a older style circular radar dish on it. Picked this one up at Ollie's for $9.99. And he claimed that the competitor would sell it for $24.99. But let's go ahead and get this open and get it put together. I'll probably speed through it because it is a very simple assembly. No painting required, no glue required, no tools required. So let's get this open and put together. Alright, so here it is, all assembled, and I think that it is really impressive. It's got a lot of detail in the plastic, a lot of surface detail, and then the coloration. I love the fact that it's already pre-painted, or pre-printed anyway. These are not stickers that I needed to apply. And I really like the fact that it comes already colored in and the work's done for me. And I think it looks great. Like I said, the detail is really, really good. Seems like everything is a good proportion. I've seen some that it just elongates, or it's too wide or too narrow, and then I've seen a few that the cockpit comes out an additional measure that just makes it look goofy, and this one here just really looks like I remember seeing it in the movie. So I'm really happy with the proportions, I'm happy with the detail. I mean, it looks great assembled, and it did not take a lot of effort to assemble it. But I think that I might take it apart and super glue it together so that everything is a little more solid. Like, I've got this piece here, kind of rattles a little bit, and then the satellite dish here, I mean, like, I can practically flick it around and it almost does a complete spin around. And I don't recall ever seeing it in any other position than forward. So I don't see why I would ever want to display it in a different position. I've never seen it in any other position than that. And then with the play feature of the turrets that can move, I mean, yes, the lasers could orient in different directions, but it wasn't like a tank turret where it could spin around and shoot in those directions. So that's not exactly movie accurate, and I'll probably go ahead and fix that in the forward position, just like I'm gonna do with the radar dish. And I think that that'll, just a couple of customizations that I will want to do to help make everything a little more screen accurate and fixed and solid. But boy, I really like the way that this looks. And obviously it's got the lights and sound. You just take and press this button here and it lights up. And it's got different sounds. So it's got 3 different sounds that it cycles through. And then the landing gear it comes down and it pulls it away from the surface of what you're setting it on nicely, but it can also stow away and pull up into the ship and would make for a very nice toy to play with. I remember playing with the Micro Machines Millennium Falcon, and it had kind of a halfway between kind of deal where the landing gear was kind of lowered down, but not as low as it would be if it was like landed. So you could set it down and it would stay flat somewhere, but if you were playing with it like you were flying it around your backyard, you'd be flying it around with the landing gear half down, and that always bothered me. I never did modify it and cut the landing gear off to flatten it out, but I didn't really care for the landing gear being partially down. So this would have been something that I would have really liked as a kid, being able to deploy the landing gear and then pull it back to play with it. And as far as size-wise, I think that pretty much at any age, this is the exact size that I would have wanted to play with for a toy playing with the Millennium Falcon. I used to take my little Micro Machines Millennium Falcon, which I believe is the only Millennium Falcon that I ever owned. I didn't have any of the bigger play sets. I think all I had was the Millennium Falcon from the Star Wars Micro Machines. And I would fly it in my driveway, and the little stones in my driveway would be the asteroid field, and my parents' cars would be the Star Destroyer and the Super Star Destroyer, and I'd fly it super close and pretending like I was attacking the Star Destroyer, flying it close to the car. And boy, I had lots of fun with that, but this would have been a really ideal size for me to play with as a kid. So I really appreciate this model as it sits here. I really like it a lot. So that's a brief, close look at the Tite Millennium Falcon from The Force Awakens. In my next video, I will be reviewing the Millennium Falcon from the movie Solo, so keep an eye out for that. Alright, well, thanks for checking out my videos. We will catch you next time.
I'm really, really sorry. I apologize unreservedly. I offer a complete and utter retraction. The imputation was totally without basis in fact and was in no way fair comment and was motivated purely by malice. And I deeply regret any distress that my comments may have caused you or your family. And I hereby undertake not to repeat any such slander at any time in the future.